Who else did you have on the pitch? Oh, Nunez. Wow. 100 million euros.
Nah, you know what? Go on.
100 million.
No, go on. Say what you have to say, you dickhead. If you're going to say it, say it.
100 million euros.
Right, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to James Redmond TV. And welcome to the aftermath of what was a crap game for some, a sensational game for others, of Leeds 2. Well, Liverpool 1, Leeds 2. It was actually at Anfield with fans, Lewis, so you've got me at a time where I'm not really doing the best, mate. I thought it was only fair, as I put myself in the firing line. I feel like it's something that's admirable. One of the more admirable qualities about myself is that even after a loss like that, I'll still get a Leeds fan on, especially one of the more ruthless ones like yourself. First of all, how are you doing? And thank you for coming on the channel.
No worries, mate. It's good to see you. Good to catch up. I'm doing all right, mate. I'm doing all right.
Just all right. You know? Just sharp.
Just all right. Yeah, we've
just another Sunday.
Yeah, we just got 3 points on the board at last. Like, you know, we can't overthink it. We have taken 4 points, 5 points from 24, something like that. So yes, it's Liverpool. Yes, it's at Anfield. Yes, you had fans. Yes, we did beat you 2-1, just to remind you. But it's slow progress in the grand scheme of things. But obviously, I'm buzzing with that win on its own.
So, when you break down the actual game itself, I'm going to assume you didn't expect Leeds to play the way they was. I don't watch Leeds week in, week out. Please don't call me a hater for that. You did expect to play that well?
I did, yeah, because this season we battered Chelsea, we battered Arsenal. We seem to turn up and play better against the bigger teams or the teams that will need to play. A constant problem with Leeds this season has been teams, especially at Ellen Road, come and slow the game down. We'll spend half the game on the floor, we'll fake injury, we'll wait as long as they can on goal kicks or when the ball's out of play, because they know that if you allow Leeds to play, the Jesse Marsh system will flow, it will work, we will be dangerous going forward, we will score 2-3 goals, right? Most teams this season have done that, Everton included. Palace did it when they turned the game around away. However, when you've got teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool who can't afford to slow the game down really because they are playing for something like top 4, title charge, whatever it may be, Europa.
So are you basically saying a team who matches your intensity, because you're a very intense team? When I first went on your channel a couple of years ago, and it was the 4-3 game, I talked about how you're going to give plenty of teams nosebleeds. And yes, there's been times where you've had embarrassing results, but then there's times where you've had the crazy, like I talk box office football in terms of some of the results that you do get. Would you say that's the reason why you benefit more when playing bigger teams?
I wouldn't say intensity. I'd say it's literally just a case of allowing us to play the game. Chelsea turned up and played because they need to. Arsenal turned up and played because they need to. That game would have ended either a win for us or a draw had it not been for a stupid individual mistake, which we've seen time and time again this season with Leeds, individual mistakes. And also not being able to take chances. We have, average 2, 3, 4 XG a game, and we're not being able to score. Bamford, bless him, love him a bit, but he's unfit. He's played 6, 7 games in over a year.
Probably not good enough for you. I'll be honest. I think if he's fit, week in, week out, boss. But the same as Daniel Sturridge, just in my humble opinion, Lewis, I just think there's no point in having a player who's, one, not going to be consistently fit. And again, I can't assess the numbers. I know that there was a point in time where Leeds fans were the absolute leaders for getting Bamford in the England squad. I certainly don't think he's of the quality or esque to really take Leeds to where they're better than a team who's competing for relegation. I don't know if you agree. For now, sounds in the near and distant future.
I have a bias because of how much I like him, but
get rid of it. The bias is what kills you. It's doing it to us. We've been persistent with loads of players and not reinvested. So
and Jurgen Klopp.
What are you saying about my manager? You better not talk about my You better not talk about my fucking
Come on, it's his 7th season.
What happened to Bielsa? What happened to your legend?
7th season syndrome, innit? Stockholm syndrome for Jurgen.
Don't start
But
with that.
now with Bamford, it's he can do everything but stick the ball in the net, which for a striker, it's not what you want, is it?
Sorry, wait there. Sorry, hang on. Let me just try and find the will to live. No, I don't have it, Lewis, because isn't that what a striker's meant to do in these
Yes, it is,
situations
but
for a team who's fighting
genuinely,
relegation?
obviously, you don't watch Leeds week in, week out, and I won't expect Liverpool fans to really understand our feelings towards Bamford and what he does. But you put Bamford on the pitch, and it's a completely different game. Like, he improves. He makes everyone's awareness just fall into place. Like, as soon as he's on the pitch, it's like, right, well, he's making that run straight through. The only problem is that when we're getting the ball through to him, he's making the correct run every time. We know where he is. He's the target man. He's like, oh, I haven't got a right foot, so I'll just try and, tap it in with my left from a right-footed angle. And it's these things where it's like, he lacks confidence, he lacks match sharpness. And to get that back, you need to play him more, which is frustrating half the fan base because at the moment, he's not good enough to put the ball in the back of the net. Yesterday, do you remember it got poked through? It was on his own. It was unmarked, right?
Yeah.
And the first touch was awful.
I already know what you're talking about, yeah. I actually said in that moment, if Bamford was better, we would have been fucked. You could have beat us 3 or 4-1 if you had more quality in your team. I swear to God, Lewis. Honestly, I swear to God, you could have beat us by way more goals.
In fairness, Melia kept us in the game a lot, and we'll get on to that. But all in all, to answer the question that was originally asked before I went off on a tangent, Leeds turn up against the teams that actually need to play the game, right? And as soon as we've got that, it's like, right, we've got a game here, we can play, we can do what we want, it'll flow. And that's what we saw yesterday. It's what we saw against Arsenal. We should have got something from that game. We didn't. It's what we saw against Chelsea when we backed them 3-0. And people were saying,
it's so relatable.
Tuchel got sacked. The fact that you need teams to play against you.
So the reason why I say it's so relatable for a Liverpool fan is because we're inconsistent, and when we play teams who have that low block and don't want to play with us, we struggle. But I think because you enjoy the momentum of the game flowing and us constantly trying to get that next chance, therefore we'll take a throw in quick or any set piece that we get, it's got to be. There's no time wasting when it comes to Liverpool at all. And I think when you come up against a team like you, it suited you. But the thing with us, when a team wants to play against us, like Ajax or like these teams in the Champions League who are attacking teams first, even though in their league they're attacking first, so it's very difficult just to turn into a very defensive side for one game. You get what I'm saying? So that's very relatable.
Sometimes we don't really see that final product. Yesterday, we saw that final product. We saw
the final product. I've got, listen, lad, I'm blind in one eye. I'm blind in one eye. As far as that, do you know how hard it is to see when the players are on the pitch and it's not on the telly and it's not that
ended 1-1.
1-1. And you know what? That's the beautiful thing about being naive. I'll take that.
And you'll take that.
Yeah, we're in the same race as you, brother.
How far the mighty have fallen.
We're in the same race as you, brother. Do you know what? I actually wanted to ask you about Liverpool. If it is the ball, do you want to say anything about Meslier as well? Because he had a really, really good performance.
Yeah, Melia. It was
Melia, sorry,
games.
I call him Meslier because he's got a silent S. My bad.
It's I call Salah fraud. It's all right. So or Jurgen Klopp, or who else did you have on the pitch? Oh, Nunez. Wow, 100 million euros.
Nah, you know what? Go on,
100 million.
No, go on. Say what you have to say, you dickhead. If you're gonna say it, say it.
100 million euros. For Nunez.
He won 100 million. He won 100 million.
It was 100 million euros, was it not?
It was euro. If we put it in pounds, it was 85 million pounds.
It was 85 million pounds.
It was.
City got Haaland for less than 60 million.
It started 65 million with 20 million bonuses. That's what it was. I'm just telling you facts, Lewis.
Okay, let's talk statistic facts then. What's his return so far?
What's Bamford's return so far?
We didn't spend 65 million pounds on him.
And guess what?
85 million.
Nunez is still on 6 goals this season.
Not against Leeds though.
Listen, Nunez is shit, okay? Just leave him alone, alright? He's our shit player. We own him. You've got Liverpool fans out there.
He's like Jesse Lingard. He might come good. You never know. It's his season.
Jesse Lingard, though, Lewis. don't want Jesse
It's next
Lingard. Fuck
season.
Jesse. No one wants Jesse Lingard. Like, he went to West Ham, he fucked it up, and you know what I mean? Nunez is one of those. I think the best you get out of Nunez is if your whole team is playing well, he's going to get on the end of chances and get you 20 goals, possibly. And then most of them are tap-ins. And
Yeah, because he
you get what I'm
shoots about
saying?
18 times a game.
Are you onto the way that he makes the hard chances look like decent? Like, he'll get it close and he'll make the keeper work, and then he'll make the easy chances just like look so
He's
shit.
one of
And he'll
those players that's like the opposite of Bamford. Now, Bamford is a guy who
Bamford
gets the
improves the
ball.
team. Yeah.
He gets the ball and is like, his first thought, it shouldn't be, his first thought should be goal. But his first thought is, who's running near me? Who can I give the ball to? I don't want it. Which, that's confidence thing. But actually, sometimes it's the right option because we get a goal out of it because someone else is better placed. Nunez gets the ball anywhere near the box and he's like, I'm a shoot. Salah's there. Firmino's there. Oh, Van Dijk's up. Why? I don't care. I'm shooting. It's 35. I'm shooting. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4 shot. Goal. Yes. After 6 shots. Well done. 85
Yeah,
million
he needs a high volume of
Do you know
chances.
what I mean?
Would you rather have
it's one of
Bamford or Nunez?
Ooh.
Oh, the
No,
shit that you were
genuinely.
just saying, and now you're thinking about it.
No, but that proves how bad it's the price tag thing.
You're
It's
right.
the
The
price
fact
tag
that
thing.
I'm getting satisfaction. I by the way, I've always said Nunez is a horrible sign. Like, if you see the first ever clip of when we were linked with Nunez before we even signed him, I said I don't want him. I'd rather Jared Bowen, and we don't have an out and out number 9, and we just play with that front three. That, do you know, that front three? We've basically got like a cam, a wing, a false 9, and wingers. So I wouldn't have minded going with that over Nunez. And I also think like we missed out on a chance like with Isaac and stuff like that. I genuinely don't think he's that great, but.
He did have 2 good chances though. One where a 1-on-1 where Cooper
and that was
absolutely
shit.
messed up. Yeah, but it was a good chance. And the one where, to be fair to him, made a really good opportunity himself and good shot when he tried to loop it over Melia. Melia tipped it over. And that just proves how good Melia was that game. To go back onto Melia, kept us in the game. Man of the match. By a mile, man of the match. Because yes, it was one of those games where you say we could have won 3-4-1 on our day. But again, we still struggle with putting the ball in the back of net. We had chances. Harrison had a 1-on-1, etc. But the game, it was going our way, and it kind of, there was a point it just switched. I think it was around the 55th, 60th minute before we brought Nonto on. And you had sort of a 10, 11, 12, 13 minute spell where you just battered us. You had corner after corner, and I'm like, it's coming. And it should have done. But Melia kept us in the game. We were defensively strong. And then after that, it was like, all right, it's back even now. And then you could see something just maybe. And you'll see in my reaction, because I only filmed the last, I just put the camera on for the last sort of 15 minutes because I could see something happening. So I just was laid in bed watching the first 2 goals. And you'll see that when Nonto takes it up, I'm like, we're just holding it in corner here, playing out for 1 half. Like, nope, we're not. Come on, there we go. And I was just like, shocked more than anything. But yeah, Melia, man of the match for me by a mile. But do you know what? The reason that you did not, for me, the reason you did not capitalize on that 15-minute spell that you had, or however long it was because your atmosphere. What atmosphere? And this pains me, right? Your fans right now will be like, typical Leeds fan, like, they all think the best fans in the world, all this. One, we're up there. Not saying we're best fans in the world, because you've got ultras abroad like Ajax and massive fan bases like that, right? In England, by a mile, we are the best fans. Newcastle, close second for me, then Villa, right? But Liverpool, look how far it's fallen, man, and it annoys me to see, because I actually avidly enjoy watching proper old school English atmospheres, which is why I will always say the Championship and below for atmospheres is much better than the Premier League. I will always say that. Even though we're in the Premier League, I will still stick to Championship and lower leagues better for atmosphere wise because the Premier League's so diluted now. So diluted. Look at Old Trafford. It's 60-70% day trippers, and Liverpool's going the same way.
No, it
And
is the same way. It's not even going. It's there. We're at
And
that destination.
Yesterday, I think I heard Liverpool get belted out once, and that was it. Genuinely, it's all I heard.
We were back in the players and whatnot towards the dead end of the game when we needed to get a result, and that's a very reoccurring theme, is that we're trying to back the team when we need to. And don't get me wrong, I think it is of the players to deliver that as well. And as you said, there's a lot of people there who aren't there with Liverpool's best interest. A lot of people are there who don't want Liverpool to win. A lot of people are there taking photos around me. I was sat in the lower main stand, the quietest part of the stadium. I was like the only one singing, and people looked at me like I had 10 heads because I was singing songs. I was trying to get it going. A few people are joining, and then it just died down instantly. And I don't know. I think it's a shame that it's gone that way because it does make the game less enjoyable. It takes away from the actual reasons of why you fell in love with sport, the emotion that brings out to you, because it shuts down and it nullifies the emotion because you're not there singing, you're not there screaming your head off. And even though people can say things that are out of line of the game, I also think that's what's a part of it. Obviously within lines and within reason, but I do think that's a big reason why football became what it did. And to take that away, it's a big shame, and I think you're bang on. I think all season we've had one of the worst atmospheres based in comparison to what we know we can generate. And from what we can generate, I'll be honest, like Leeds fans, they were brilliant yesterday. They really, really was. And I feel like there's a lot of things that contextualise best fan base and whatnot. We've got a lot more of a bigger fan base, so therefore we're more likely to have more bad eggs and more people who don't understand the culture thoroughly, because that's just the cost that comes when you're absolutely massive at the end. And that's not even me having a dig or anything like that, but when you have that many people supporting your football club, you're going to get people who don't understand it. In my case, I think when we're on our best night, I genuinely don't believe there's anyone in the Premier League who touches us, but that's when the best night comes, and that hasn't been coming more enough recently, and therefore I think you're bang on to call out the atmosphere, and you're seeing it more with Liverpool fans now, and I'm sick of using the narrative that we've got the best atmosphere when you can't even get up for it when your team's 1-0 down against Leeds. So I don't think it's a bad thing to call it out, lads.
It's where you say there, context. Now, I will argue all day with people about Leeds atmosphere because some people like to say, "Oh, it's myth," or you're not as good as you think you are, or things like that, which is always going to be a debate because you have got your Newcastles flying about and your Villas who are great fan bases. But for example, we were 7-0 down at Man City last season. 7-0 down. The away end was still packed. We were still the loudest. We'd been all game. We did not.
Yeah, but you are used to getting beat though, whereas we're not. There's just a different mentality in both fan bases because you came up to the Premier League. You know that you're probably going to get battered every once in a while. You've had a few of those 6-1, 7-0s, and you're going to make the most out of the day. We're different. We're competing for trophy. You're trying to stay up. We're trying to compete for trophy. That's not even having a dig.
We got beat
when you set the fan base, I only know from myself, when you set your fan base to aim for league titles, which is what FSG do season in, season out, believe me, drawing a game takes it out of you because you know you're not going to get to the end result.
But you weren't going for league titles.
What do you mean we weren't going for league titles?
7-8 years ago, you weren't going for league titles.
We've also got the most trophies in the history of the football club. We're the most successful team when it comes to trophies, and that therefore means whether it was 30 years ago or whether it weren't, football is football. And if you want to break down football to only being in the last 30 years, then yeah, fair enough, your point will stand. It goes beyond that, the culture and even the size of the football club behind Manchester United, the biggest football club in England. I think it would be ludicrous to not expect Liverpool fans to have that winning mindset. Wrong about what?
They're not the biggest club in England.
Is it us?
Yeah.
If fan base wise, because I was talking numbers of fans, I'm not talking about like trophies and stuff like that.
Oh, I was talking trophies.
Okay. So therefore, different. I know you don't like Man United, do you?
But it's like, 7, 8, 9 years ago, we got beat 6-0 by Sheffield Wednesday, and it's the same mentality of we're just going to support them no matter what. We are supporters here to support, no matter if we're 7, 8, 9, 10-0 down. no matter if we're winning 3-4-0, whatever the situation, we are supporters and will support from minute 1 to minute 90. You lot, yes, you can talk about mentality of you expect trophies. No one should expect trophies. And I know
No, we should.
you've
We should, because we've won the most trophies and we've won trophies in recent time. How can you not expect trophies?
this season, are you expecting trophies?
See, now, based on
This
what
is
I've
what I'm
seen,
saying.
no, but that
There you
if
go.
your owners is going to be constantly telling you that you're going to be going and getting trophies and we're going to
Mm-hmm.
be competing for trophies and we're going to show ambition to compete for trophies, of course the supporters are going to align with that. That sounds good. I want trophies. Sounds.
But this,
It's like if you went and spent 100 million in the championship and didn't get promoted. You'd be like, what
correct.
the fuck?
But if your mentality now is you're not expecting a trophy, I would assume that's the general mentality of the fan base, or at least your proper fans right now, right? So that being said, if that's the mentality of right, we're probably not gonna be that successful this season. Option A, sit there in complete silence and don't do what we can to help the team kick on. Option B, make Anfield what it used to be, make it an intimidating place to come, the loudest it can be, the best it can be on a Champions League night. Do that every single game, whether it's against
For
Fulham,
Champions
whether it's
League nights,
against Man United.
I'll give it to us on Champions League nights.
Right,
We
yes.
do turn up massively.
But
We just
do
don't
that
do it in
every
the Prem.
game.
Yeah, I
Why?
agree. I agree.
So that's why now you are nowhere near up there. You can't. You can say to me when we're at our best. It's like, all right, when Bamford's at his best, is it is. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those like when
No, you're
you're at
right.
your best. If there's no consistency, you cannot be considered anymore one of the best fan bases. One of the biggest, yes. One of the best, nowhere near. And last
Okay.
night,
I think that's a bit harsh to
it's
say
not.
nowhere near.
It's not, because if you've not got the mentality of no matter if we're 18th, 8th, or 1st, supporting the team from minute 1 to minute 90, no matter how bad the performance is, you are supporters there to support. You are there as the 12th man to help your team kick on. No matter how bad the performance is, that ground yesterday in that 15-minute spell, not just a 15-minute spell, all game, that 15-minute spell when you were all over us, corner after corner after corner, shot after shot after shot, that place should have been bouncing. You shouldn't have been able to hear the Leeds fans once. We are outnumbered completely with this big Liverpool fan base, packed out Anfield on a night, right? Nothing. Silence. Nothing. You've got Salah, you've got Firmino, you've got Nunez up front, one of the best on paper front three in the Premier League, and you've got no 12th man. Help giving them that edge, giving them that little boost in confidence. Like, right, we're gonna do this, right? You didn't get that. And if you're not getting that every Premier League game, if your mentality is, oh, this season we're not going to be successful, so we can't be asked, where is that going to get you? And what damage does that do to the reputation of the Liverpool fan base? And that's why it's sad for me to see, because I do enjoy seeing the proper clubs and proper fan bases show what they can do at their best, like you're saying, and we're not seeing that, and we haven't been seeing that with Liverpool for a long, long time now. It's so diluted, it's becoming like Old Trafford, and it's sad to see, because Anfield, on a Champions League night, yes, I'll give it to you, or
It's
against
much
Everton,
better than
maybe,
Old
but...
Trafford, don't worry. It's much better than
Oh,
Old Trafford.
yeah.
I've heard the
Well,
noise that Old Trafford
Old Trafford don't
generates in
have Champions
comparison
League
to us.
nights anymore, so...
Yeah, but even on Champions League, when they generate the most noise they can and we do, it's not comparable. Like when we played Man City, I haven't heard a team in the Premier League this season generate that noise. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. When we played Man City this season, we were on fire, mate. Like it's honestly like that's the example of where I can say, you know what, wow. But the fact that's the only time in the last 15 games is what leads to your point, and it's why you're bang on, and it's why I think Liverpool fans watching this need to actually listen to what Lewis has just said and take away the fact he's a Leeds fan, take away the fact that he might have any sort of biases towards his team, and whether you think he overrates his own atmosphere or not isn't the conversation. What he's saying about Liverpool is near enough bang on, and what I will recommend is don't be just looking at the thickness of the words he's just said. Dive into them, look into them, and you'll actually realise what he's saying is bang on. That's coming from someone with the perspective of being at Anfield week in, week out, and we do need to sort it out, because regardless of how shit our players are at the moment, it's not going to help if we're sitting there and doing nothing. Also, it makes the game less enjoyable for fans just going and expecting this amazing Anfield atmosphere. So I do think Lewis has got great points there. I think final words from me, Leeds brilliant in the game in terms of what they needed to do. That American fella, boss lad, boss. Honestly, representing like the US in a great way, in a sense that he's bringing tactics to the game. I like the way he represents himself in interviews, and we say this about a lot of coaches, but I definitely think he has a place in the Premier League, which I think has already exceeded the expectations of what everyone had of him. So that's the words I'll say there. Last thing, Lewis, have you got any final things to say before we round up this this demolition, if you will? You've took the piss out of me fans. You've took the piss out of me 85 to 100 million euro pound striker, whatever you want to use, whatever currency. Anything else?
GG.
And the final words have been spoken. Lewis, lad, thank you so much for coming on the channel, brother. You are an absolute hero. Give me a spud, lad.
No worries, mate. Do you know what? I hope you can get out of this relegation battle thing that you've got going on, and get back to the Europa League. Get back up there.
Do you want to have a tenner bet on who's going to finish higher, Leeds or Liverpool? Because I think you've got a shout at the moment.
Do you want to have a tenner bet on who's going to finish higher, Everton or Liverpool?
Oh, I'll do that. I reckon we'll finish above them. There, shit, lads.
Nah, you will. But I thought I'd mix it up. I thought I'd merge the Leeds and the blue, just to rub it in that bit more. Do you know what? Everton, like, as long as he's in charge, not even mentioning his name, as long as he's in charge, Liverpool. But yeah.
I feel you.
It still hurts.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. Guys, make sure that you go and subscribe to Lewis's channel, LUFC Lewis. I've got that correct, haven't I, brother?
You have indeed.
Regardless, it's in the title. On top of that, really appreciate Lewis coming on, because I literally asked him like last night to come on the channel. Go subscribe. Go and check out all the content that he does. One of the most real Leeds fans out there as well, and that's why I thought it was only fitting that I got him on to put me to kip, because after this, that's exactly what I'm doing, because I don't want to watch football no more. This is the last thing I'm doing until Monday, tomorrow. But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you do smash a like. It helps the video get out there a little bit more. And on top of that, if you subscribe, that would be a massive help for some reason, because apparently it means loads of stuff nowadays when you subscribe to a YouTube channel. But that's been me. This has been Lewis. And yeah, we will see you, gang, in a bit. Peace.